Director Rankin, or Mac Rankin, Ben Metzger.
Here.
Eric Christensen.
Here.
Ryan Whirling. Sue Wilson. Jeanette Campbell.
Here.
Brady Dar.
Here.
We have a quorum. We're going to start. First item is the approval of the agenda. Motion.
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion made by Eric.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alright. Motion carries 4-0. Going to board member reports. Anybody have anything?
I do have Mr. Danny Reitz at our middle school was named Teacher of the Year this year, and so he'll be recognized by our chamber and our community at their upcoming event. So
Are we doing a table for the board like in years past?
we have a table. He has 2 seats of that, so there's 4 open, and if we need another table, we'll purchase it. So if anybody's interested in going, just let me know.
Yeah. Well, Luke, my 8th grader, absolutely loves him. He connects well with those
Good.
the boys there, so. All right, public comment. Do we have anybody here to speak? Tristan, floor is yours.
Thank you for the time tonight. My name is Tristan Grover, and I live at 107 West Orchard Avenue in Indianola. About 2 months ago, I came to you with a wealth of information that was sent via email about our Indianola National Honor Society Chapter 599 program here in Indianola and made 3 requests. I intended to come before you tonight to provide some additional information that I have obtained regarding those requests, but I'm changing gears and I'm now here to ask you one overarching question. Why? Why is it that on the evening of November 17th, following the 2025 induction ceremony into NHS, did the NHS advisor unexpectedly resign her position? Why is it that that same individual has now excluded 2 of these 3 girls from being a part of the post-prom committee, which she personally asked them to be a part of? Why is it that a recent FOIA request identified that only 3 students were denied acceptance into NHS this year? Why is it that during the investigation of this discrimination was it discovered that this isn't the first time that fully qualified students who happen to be female and have strong political views have been denied acceptance into NHS? Why is it okay that students responsible for causing other students to quit an extracurricular activity are allowed into NHS? Why is it okay to accept students who were failing at least 1 class at the time of NHS induction were accepted into NHS? Why is it okay to subjectively accept students who technically didn't meet the NHS admittance criteria? Why is it that you all thought that allowing Principal Siebersma to talk with the secret 5-member NHS advisory panel that originally denied these 3 girls admittance into NHS would even remotely be justified as a fair appeal? Why is it that you all appear to be willing to hide behind the statement that the school board does not have the authority under the National Honor Society governance to investigate or overturn individual student selection decisions? Why have not one of you called the National Association of Secondary School Principals to ask questions regarding your authority in this situation? We came to you because we were directed to come to you guys. Why is it that you actually think any student would want to reapply for NHS after experiencing what these girls have the last couple of months? Why is it that you think the selection process would even begin to be fair the second time around? You all may be saying to yourself, step aside, Tristan, and quit being disgruntled. Maybe I am disgruntled. When my daughter walks out on the floor next year for volleyball, for basketball, and for track, on senior night, and she's not able to list NHS as one of her activities, and I know that she is just as qualified and deserving as most of those accepted, I can guarantee you that I will be disgruntled. Not because she didn't get accepted, but because I know the real reason behind why she wasn't accepted, and the fact that nobody was willing to listen or remotely begin to lend a hand into looking into the real question. Why? At the end of the day, this isn't about NHS anymore. It's about discrimination and bullying that is going on by some of the educators at our high school, and it is ruining the reputation of all of those fantastic teachers that take their job seriously and actually do educate our children without jealousy or alternative agendas. More than 37 years ago, I came to this town to go to college. But I stuck around because of the people and what I thought to be the moral and ethical principles of the people in this town. My wife and I have fully embraced this town and put everything we had into being a part of it and giving back to the community. Unfortunately, the very reason that caused me to stay in this town might be the reason that causes me to leave. In the past, when I have had coworkers move to the area, I have always tried to entice them to move to Indianola. That didn't happen just a couple months ago when I had a coworker who grew up in Indianola move back to the area. He's now residing in Bondurant. While I don't know the answers to the previous why questions, I do know the answer to one why question, and that is why I no longer trust Principal Siebersma and Superintendent Paul, and why I have lost faith in and respect for the school board. One of you was quoted back in the fall of 2023 as saying, every decision I make, every decision we make as a board, it should be with children, our students, number one in mind. Why are you all not living up to your campaign promises and making this happen? In fact, why are you not embracing the Indianola Community School District core values? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? That's it? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. The items that a board member would like to remove from the consent agenda? Not, take a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion made by Eric,
I second it.
seconded by Jeanette. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. All right, board committee reports. Teaching and learning. Is that you, Brady?
Yeah.
Right. We are just through the consent agenda, so didn't miss a whole lot yet.
So we have met twice since the last time we were together as a full board. I feel like we're fairly thorough there, but on our December meeting, we talked about how there's going to be an additional effort for communication coming out through a newsletter about Career Quest. I commend this effort. I mean, I know it's always a difficult thing to get people enough communication and through the proper means, and so I think this sounds like it's a really good move in the right direction. There was some fun information shared with us about the professional learning pathways that teachers have the opportunity to use for professional development. And did you say about 50% have participated in that, I believe?
Yep.
Yeah. Probably one of those things that will take a little while for everybody to kind of start getting a feel for that, but I think it's really neat because they're able to work their ICDPs into this, and so it can merge really well with other obligations that teachers have to do, and it can be highly personalized, so that sounds really cool. We got some information about our ISAS scores, including a new AEA dashboard, and that was going to be shared at different leadership levels. And then the big thing was the math MTSS update that they're putting on the website. So that screenshot that was included in the packet was one that I asked them to send you so that you could see just kind of what types of resources the teachers would have access to, putting them all kind of in the same place. So there was a lot of really neat work happening there. Okay, Do you remember anything else from that day that I missed?
You're doing fine, there's a lot going on there.
We were there for quite a while that day,
Yes,
but,
we were.
A lot of cool things happened.
very cool things, yes, very cool things. And then this week we talked about special ed, and I don't know, I don't know how into this you guys want to go here, but the matrix that's being used to determine roster size sounds like it's an excellent thing. It's always difficult to decide how many students should go on each roster, and so they've got a bunch of different measurements that they're using to take into consideration for that, and they're gonna reevaluate. This is semester 1 with that?
The plan started in June,
Yeah.
so we've gone through it once, and we'll go through it again.
And that would then provide helpful information if we need to hire more. I think it noted in here that the high school is the one that is not quite in range, but we know that we're a little short there, and actively working on that. And then this was all new. We have a new way of identifying things. I just wrote down IDEADA, differentiated accountability. And so we get into like a categorization on levels. We're going to be at a level 3 this year. It's clear to me that our team knows exactly how that happened and why we're there, and they have plans on how we're gonna work with that. It puts us on a 3-year plan. And did you end up already meeting with them since we saw you on Tuesday?
The 21st and the 27th.
Okay.
It's just around the corner.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm sure Sarah would too, but sounds like we're going to be working with the Department of Ed to pick one of their kind of options and work through that.
Is this a fairly new program, or do you?
This is, this process happened 3 years ago, and it was super new then. And this was the second cycle, it's like a 3-year cycle. So I do think there's lots of accountability measures out there right now, so I think it's just kind of trying to figure out what's going to give districts the best information to move forward.
And IDEA is a federal mandate. It has federal dollars tied to it, so there are different metrics that we have to follow and look at when it comes to the federal mandates. So.
Cool. Anything else?
Good job.
Thanks. Wonderful.
It's almost like your background.
All right, moving on. We'll go to finance. Speaking of backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna help with that one.
Come on,
I'm still learning the ropes there.
So the first item we delved into was IPERS. We're looking at potentially some changing in contributions there and trying to get some individualized numbers from the IPERS area, and weren't able to do that. Did some exploration and kind of decided as a group not to make any changes at this time. Second item, we received the funds from the latest sales tax bond of $30 million. And so Brian explored various options and ended up most of it is in the ISJET fund, $25 million, and there's $5 million at People's Bank there. Budget reconfiguration, kind of changing because of the progress on the construction, or essentially working on a budget shortfall of the $750,000 there, and mainly driven by, is that partially the enrollment decline, or?
Decline.
Yep.
Yep, with the 90 kids.
Yep, yeah, with the 90 kids there, and we mentioned this before, but that's primarily driven by demographics as opposed to a mass exodus from Indianola, because it's pretty universally being seen across different districts. And then there was just some other a few other conversations about a benevolence fund and then technology at the lower elementary.
All right. Sounds good. Brian, monthly financial reports. Anything super exciting about those?
Now we're moving through the year, about halfway through, including December, so I can give a little better review after next month if the board wants, just how we're doing compared to last year. But I can answer any questions if there are any.
Any concerns right now, or everything looking
Everything's
on track?
pretty on track with where we are. You can see we're 50% through the year, so it shows our expenses are a little bit lower just because teachers are paid from September through August, so that we have to leave a couple of months there for leeway for that, but everything else is pretty much in line.
Perfect. We'll look forward to the next report. I'll need a motion on this monthly financial report.
I move to approve the monthly financial report.
Motion made by Eric. Seconded by Ryan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right, next action item is the MAGDOP. Is that right?
Yep.
MAGDOP? All right.
Modified Allowable Growth Dropout Prevention. And this is what funds our at-risk programming across the district. And so you can see there, it funds our online learning program at our high school, our reading interventionist positions that aren't covered by Title I. So some of our buildings have full Title I, which is supported by Title I dollars, but we want to provide reading interventions to all for equity, and these funds provide that for all buildings. A portion of our counselors and their time gets pulled out of this, and then a portion of our dean of students at the high school and our school resource officers in there. So, and Brady asked a great question. I sent that information to you today about, does this track with what we've got in the last few years? And it does. I mean, it's within $100,000 of the last few years, so.
Okay. Yeah, all super important programs to keep us on track here, so this is gonna need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion made by Brady,
Second.
seconded by Jeanette. Any further discussion?
Thank you for sending those figures.
Oh, absolutely.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Next, high school courses. It's that time of year where we looking to approve the course description book for the winter and the spring. What do we
So
got?
for some of you, you might be like, why are we doing this right now? It's January. Well, it's because we start registering kids in February. And so we have to bring this before you to get your approval, to explain any changes that might be happening, answer any questions for next year. So this course description book is for 26-27, not 25-26. Mr. Seepersma has provided a summary page, just like our handbooks. What are some of those changes? And he is also here tonight. If you have any questions on any of that, a lot of this we have talked about in our curriculum updates over the past year, as we've talked about it throughout the curriculum meetings.
Jeff, I know you've been looking forward to this all day. Any significant
Early.
any significant changes or?
No, I think one of the things in there is another PE option, which will help us to provide some flexibility with our building space over the next year, because we'll be losing one gym. So there was a walk-in class that's included that's different, and I think that'll help to kind of mitigate some of our space needs with classes that are gonna line up and be held simultaneously. Other than that, it's some name changes to kind of align with what's being taught, and some updates with DMAC course offerings and what we have to code them as. There was a Child Care 3 option in there we're still kind of vetting the definition, but it's in hopes that it's a form of maybe independent or work-based learning course to where we can maybe offer some IRCs or get a few more of those credentials out there for students who are going down that path.
If I can interrupt, that Child Care 3, last year you approved the hiring of a full-time business in the area of family consumer science that would also teach personal finance. This is that second part of that. If we hired that position, we would also up our score in our CTEs with the state by adding this Child Care 3. So that's this portion of that position there.
And the one drop there was photography two, excuse me. And what we're finding there is after they've changed kind of what we're teaching in there, they used to do some, I don't know, is it black light photography or whatever, when you develop it the old school way. We've moved away from that, we're now digital. So just the amount of content is redundant to go to a second level photography. And within our offerings, we do see that we're cutting some kids because we don't have available sections. And I think our hope is that we'll fill maybe another course or another section of the course that we're already offering at this time. And then the art teachers will explore maybe a potential add-on in the future, but not for this next school year. Yeah.
Go back to the top as well, just with that world history.
Oh, yeah. Did the world history, did they adopt that, or are we expecting
We
that?
expect it to be adopted in February.
Okay, so the world history, what they're looking at in February is that it'll be a year-long requirement. Right now, we're at a semester requirement, and then we also require a semester of a behavioral science, which is traditionally your sociology or psychology. What that will do is that we'll have to bump up the world history requirement, and then as our graduation requirements, we'll eliminate the behavioral science requirement. I still foresee a lot of students taking psychology in our AP Psych classes because it does transfer very well to the junior college level, especially, and the AP Psych is pretty popular still. But in order to maintain our requirements for graduation, that would be an adjustment that we'll have to make when that goes through.
That'll just affect the current freshmen will be grandfathered.
Yeah, class of 2030 is when it will take effect, so it'll be, this year's 8th graders will be required to meet that criteria.
And we're not eliminating social and psych as classes, they're just becoming electives, so kids can still take them.
Yeah, they're still elected on.
It's just not gonna be a required class because we have to offer 2 semesters of world
Gotcha.
history.
They were required by our school, but not by state graduation guidelines. Okay. I missed that, sorry.
That walking for wellness, do you anticipate that being a permanent class, or is that just temporary?
Yeah, I think it'll be popular amongst a number of different students. Because we offer some individual based courses where they're doing fitness programs, but it's an individual thing versus like the team games.
Yeah.
But I just think a lot of students are into walking, and it's a life skill that can continue on, and I think we'll see it to be a popular class or an offering.
I know it's hard to project enrollment figures, but with the world history change, I know for like psych and soc, we have to make sure that they have so many credits, and it's not necessarily coming in on everybody's endorsement. Do you anticipate that will be fine for us to cover with our current staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll have enough staff that can teach that. Their sections will certainly shift over time, I think, but I think we're all right to cover that right now. But it's definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on as we see those sections increase.
And I had one other question about the full course handbook. Do we still actually have any students enroll in flex and blended classes?
We have not utilized that, but we've left it in there as an option, but, yeah, no, we have not.
Okay.
Generally, we don't get enough interest to go through with it, but I would say that the availability is there. However, I think at some point we're gonna have to make a decision to cut that out with the OLP offering, just because it's not being utilized, and I think it can be confusing.
Brady, can you give me, like, what would be an example?
Well, I mean, it was really kind of a popular conversation we were having, honestly, before COVID. I feel like we were on the front of that.
So they used to offer like I don't know if it was a licensure, but there was like a 4-class requirement that they could do it. I don't know if it was through the AEA, and maybe it started at Drake even.
I think it was a combo effort with AEA maybe, but we had to get a certification to be able to be prepared enough as teachers to teach those blended offerings. And I think we had a blended AP Lit, for instance, where they met on campus maybe like 1 or 2 days a week, and then the other 3 days, the teacher could do individualized conferences during that time with students, or they could work from home. So it was a little bit more of a hybrid sort of environment. But I feel like it was before the COVID, everybody had to go online thing, and I feel like students haven't been as keen on it since, and I was just curious, I noticed that it was still in there, and I didn't know if we were still offering those, so.
And there's not been the opportunity to add other teachers to that because the training's no longer.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, need a motion,
Oh,
oh,
I want my turn, come on. Are there any courses we're not offering today that you wish we could offer?
save that all day.
Edge of my seat.
No, I would say, coming to this district, we offer a lot of opportunities for students from what I'm accustomed to being in a smaller district. As far as, in general, nothing comes to the top like, wow, I really wish we had that option. I think there's always room to where you could expand if you have the right professionals to teach it. But where we're currently at, I don't know that there's anything that's just burning in the back of my mind that I would love to push through at this time.
Good. Second question, the last bullet there, we 2 acronyms, WBL coding, and it's now coded as SDV. What do those stand for?
So the work-based learning,
Okay.
SDV is, I don't even know, where was?
But the last one's vocational.
I think is at the college level.
School to career will now be coded as SDV.
Okay, yeah, so it's just the distinction that the college puts on the course.
Gotcha.
So it's their coding. They make changes in how they, what they're teaching, and we just have to follow it, basically. So our school to career, I want to say there's 3 different college level credits a semester that students get from that. And we're kind of at the mercy of the college as far as what we put those as.
And they changed those for all community colleges, so that no matter where they go, it's the same 3 initial letters, so that it transfers the same. So Bio 168 is the same at DMAC as it is at Iowa Lakes and Iowa Central.
That makes sense. Eric?
All good.
Leanna? Ryan? Jeanette?
I'm good.
Brady? All right, it's an action item.
I'll give my time because Eric took my first question.
He was hoping it had something to do with finance, but
All right. Do you want
You need a motion
Yep.
to approve, let's see, look at the wording. Approve the 2026, 2027 high school course description book.
All right, motion made by Ryan.
Second.
Seconded by Eric. Any further discussion? Third question, Eric? No? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Passes 5-0. Thanks, Jeff. Board calendar review.
Sue's not gonna be here Thursday, and we don't have anything burning. If you wanna cancel that, up to you.
Push it. Yeah. All right, no HR this week. Everybody else good with the committee meetings leading up to next board meeting on the 9th of February?
Just gonna get my calendar, 26. Got it.
I will adjust HR.
Actually helps me out greatly because it's going to be pressed for time anyway, so appreciate it. Everybody good on those? Next board meeting, the 9th of February. I guess it won't be as warm out as it is now. We can hope.
All right.
All right.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Motion made by Ryan,
I second it.
seconded by Jeanette. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right.